I'm so excited for this update for Final Boss Con because this is the last one before the con, right?
Unless something comes up, but probably last one.
Yeah. What updates do you have for us? What do all of the Final Boss Con participants need to know?
Oh, what they need to know, what they need to do is take their phone and download the free ConTrack app. It is a free app to you to download, and it has everything Final Boss Con you want. There's a nice countdown on there, and our schedule is on there. And look, you can even like heart what you want, and it will remind you, hey, you have D&D at 11 o'clock.
No way.
Yes. You also can look at all of our exhibitors beforehand. Like you can look at Avocadoli and then like check out some of the stuff they have, go to their web pages, do a little pre-shopping, if you will. See, like things like that. Great. And then there's also like frequently asked questions, stuff like that. So this is a really good resource. We are not doing printed programs this year. We'll have a few schedules out and about, but if you really want to know what's going on, you really need to get that app. Like I said, it's free. It doesn't take up a lot of space on your phone, and it's the resource that you want to have. Like if you're at like a guild masters hall and you're trying to get everything ready for you to go on your quest, you want to have this app.
Yeah. ConTrack.
ConTrack.
Is it
It's
tracked
available
or track, like running a track?
like running a track.
Okay, gotcha.
You're keeping track of your con.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Mike who runs it, he's a really great guy and been really easy to work with. And it's a tool that I think that people would really, really like if they downloaded it. The map is on there, so you know where everything is. If you're like, I have to get to Rob Paulson as soon as I get there, this is how you know where he is.
Yeah. And then right after that, go next door and get a butterbeer.
Exactly. Yeah, because he's right there.
Okay, so ConTrack,
Yes.
download it now.
Download it now.
What
Yes. And we'll have some QR codes. So if you forget, we'll have QR codes around. So you just scan it and then just download it real quick. And then just scroll down just a little bit because it lists a lot of different other cons. And then just select Final Boss Con and you're good to go.
nifty gifty.
Hmm.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Swag. Stuff we all get.
The Office, Michael Scott. Love that.
All right. You have a raffle going on as well.
Yes. So we have a raffle each year, and this helps fund Final Boss Con. And we've got some really cool stuff. We have a Zelda Master Sword, a Nintendo Switch 2. Um, we have exclusive McDonald's
Displays.
displays.
Okay.
So like when you go and like you see like the toys and everything, like what's in that case, we have two of them. We have the Hello Kitty Yu-Gi-Oh collaboration. We have the Hello Kitty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collaboration. And one of the great things about that is Raphael is in the very center. And who's going to be at Final Boss Con? Raphael.
Raphael.
So that's going to be cool. We're going to have some Funkos. We're going to have some games. And we're also going to have a build your own Kame house from Dragon Ball Z. And it's like a laser cut out, and you build the actual house and what's inside. Like there's little hangers for like his turtle shell that he wears. It's so cute.
No way.
Yeah. So there's lots of fun stuff. And one of the things that we are bringing back is a $200 shopping spree at Final Boss Con. So if you win that, you get to walk around Final Boss Con and spend 200 bucks.
I would like a ticket now, please.
Yeah. $2. They are $2 each or 10 for 10.
Hey, that's a steal there.
Mm-hmm.
That's half price.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you just need your name, your phone number. Well, really, you only need your name because you have to be present to win.
Uh,
And then it's going to be in the upper gaming gym at the stage to just listen for your name.
what time? Do you know what time that drawing is?
I should know that, but you know what? I don't have to know off the top of my head because it's right here in my
Hey,
contract app. So let's see. Let's find out what time it is.
again, nifty
Yeah, it is.
gifty.
So if I want to know, it's going to be on Saturday. So I scroll on down here. It's going to be later in the afternoon. It is at 3:30 at the event stage in the upper gaming gym.
Booyah.
Boom. And if I don't want to forget, I give it a little heart, and it reminds me.
And so will it send you a notification like it's coming up?
That's my understanding. This is the first time we've ever had this app, but that's what I think will happen.
That's neat.
But I love this app. I even use it for like reference for me. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like what's this? You can get on there and see the guests and where they're gonna be, or you're like, what was David Fielding in? Oh, here's a little bio. What I don't have on here, I will say, is the autograph and photo prices for our special guests.
Yeah.
Those are currently only on the website if you go to special guests on the website. So if you want to know what those are to plan ahead, they are listed there as of right now, but I'm going to try to get it on the app here before the show.
I'll try to put it on the screen as well right now.
There they are. Ta-da.
It's like magic. Akio prices.
Get my wand.
I'll put a little magical sound there. I don't know. I don't have a. Hey.
I like it.
All right. Auctions.
Yay. Okay, so this is something we've done a couple of years. And this is a like a charity fundraising auction. This money does not go to us in any way. It all goes to the Welks Community Center, which is going to be just outside of Rio Grande here in Gallia County. And everything is autographs. So if you're a collector of autographs, we got you.
Wow.
Including this custom 3D printed helmet, which you can wear, by the way.
I think we need a demonstration.
I'm afraid to break it. I will not be doing that, but thank you for the option. It is signed by John Young Bosch, who was the second Black Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
And I so appreciate he used the gold pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he played the character of Adam. So we have that. And then we have some My Hero Academia autographs. We have Ochako. I dropped it.
Please don't do that.
Sir Night Eye. And then we also have another Ochako.
Neato.
And then we have a Chi-Chi here. Now this is not all of them. This is some of them because we started packing stuff the other day, and I went to go grab them, and it's on the on the very bottom, and I'm like, I'm not going to move all that, so I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
We also, for our Star Wars fans, we have an autograph from Poe Dameron. We have an autograph of Watto from Episode 1. We also
that was Watto.
Okay, so all the funds of the charity auction go to the Welks Community Center. And they are going to be opening up this summer, and they're going to be offering everything from like phonics classes for kids, art classes, yoga, homesteading classes,
Wow.
and just like anything you would think a community center would have. That's kind of what they're going for. And so all the funds that we receive from this auction goes directly to them, and they're going to be there on Sunday to chat with you and tell you a little bit about who they are, what their plans are, and why these funds are needed for this community center. We are very excited about it, and we think it's going to be really, really awesome. And I hope people come out and support them.
Good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes right back into the community. So, what's better than that?
Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to bid on the Star Wars ones. How high?
I will say that most items that are autographed are where's that one at?
Like certified.
They're certified or authenticated.
Nice.
They've got like the little shiny sticker on there. And then we also have several that are like from past Final Boss Con guests,
Yeah.
like Brett Barron, John Russo, which John Russo is going to be back with us again this year, as always.
He's our mascot.
Basically, John Russo just is a staple in Final Boss Con. Just he's an expectation. He's just going to be there.
Yep.
So, we love him.
And I mean, last year I interviewed him, and he was writing new material while he's there. So it's neat that he's working on stuff while he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're really excited about all of our guests. You know, if you've never met a celebrity at this type of event, you know, this is kind of how it works. So you'll go up to their table and you'll speak to their handler, the person with them, and say, "Hi, I'm Kaitlynn, and I would like to get a selfie and an autograph." And they'll go, "Okay, so this is the price. You pay them. You walk over. I either bring my own item or they have prints there that I can choose from. And then once it's my turn, I walk over. Say I'm going up to Mr. Russo or Rob Polson, and I walk over and I say, "Hi, how are you?" And they'll chat with me for a minute, and they'll sign my stuff. You can be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a big fan. What's your favorite color?" Stuff like that. And just remember, they're regular people just like you and me.
Yeah.
But they will be there to chat with you. And I was really excited last year with Britt Barron. So Britt Barron was on the show Glow, and she was there last year. And if you don't know, the show Glow was canceled due to COVID, and it wasn't picked back up. And it ended on kind of a cliffhanger. And I was like, I need you to tell me what was supposed to happen. And she was able to kind of fill in those blanks for me, and I got that closure. And so that's one of the fun things about meeting celebrities at these things, is to get those like unanswered questions answered.
Yeah. Also, if you didn't get to see Britt last year, you can put a bid up on the auction piece of her autograph. There's an item that she autographed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's her banner.
Oh, neato.
So so when you go to shows, they have their banners behind them saying who they are and everything. Final Boss Con, Britt Barron. Here's a picture of her as a character. Here's her, actor photo, and then they've signed those. In fact, we ask them to sign them every year, and then we try to auction them off or put them in something to kind of help raise funds for the community or even for Final Boss Con as well.
That's neat. I like that. Because where else are you going to get that?
Nowhere.
No. Only at Final Boss Con.
Original.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
OG banner.
OG banner.
All right. Anything else pertinent?
As always, come hydrated to Final Boss Con. We like to do Easter eggs at Final Boss Con because we're big nerds. And
What?
I do a lot of the graphic design, as in most of it, for Final Boss Con. And every year, Final Boss Con, our Blue Dragon has an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, the Blue Dragon is going up against a wizard, of which Katie picked. Or I guess you're over here.
Yeah.
Over here.
Hi.
And so this year, the potential options for the 2027 or year 6 opponent for the Blue Dragon will be somewhere at Final Boss Con. If you see them, and it's going to be on something Final Boss Con produced, so it will probably have our name on it or at one of our tables.
Okay.
If you see it, and there will be multiple characters, and you're the first one to come to me and say, "I want the zombie to be the character," or the ghost, or I can't remember the other ones, but there's a couple on there. If you come to me, then you get to pick who the opponent for next year will be.
So when you see it, all those characters will be together, or will it be one individual one? Okay, they'll all be together.
They'll all be together. In fact, it was in the same place it was last year, and no one said anything. So I'll see if anyone's paying attention this year.
I'm going to be looking. Yeah. I'm going to look Saturday morning before anyone gets there.
Saturday morning? Aren't you setting up on Friday?
Yeah, but is everything going to be set up on Friday for me to see it? All right, then Friday.
I got to get that crap out fast. I got so much to do. I want it out of my dining room.
So guess what? Katie picked the character for year 5 and year 6.
I mean, if you can find it.
Oh, that's true.
What are you going to do at Final Boss Con?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you sound like a squirrel?
Yes.
I'm a squirrel. You're supposed to turn the sound on. The sound is on. This isn't not my. It's not on. You don't hear it?
I hear regular Katie.
No way.
Yeah.
Let me try something. Oh, that's why. Okay, hold on. What about now? Yes. Can you say tin hut hole? Like tin hut ho. You say that? Tin hut ho.
Alrighty. What you do, what you're going to do at the con, and just enlighten me on miniature painting.
Okay. Where do we start? Well, I go by the moniker JpGotrokkits here online on the interwebs. I run I have a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel. I also stream out to Rumble for people that don't like either Twitch or YouTube. There's a few of those for good reason, bad reason, whatever. Yeah, so I paint minis. It's a hobby. I've also got miniatures on the that I painted for Raffle Auction Legacy on their website. So I've got box art out there for them and my friends at Sea Dog Game Studios out of Columbus. So,
Wow.
yeah, I've been painting since late '89, I think. I've got some old figures out in my cabinet. I should have brought them in a show, but it's hard to do that with these webcams the way they are.
I get you.
Yeah, so that's how I started. I started painting for myself back in '89, as a kid and everything. I wasn't really into the D&D, but I did like Tolkien. I read Lord of the Rings and of course Star Wars and all that. And then I had seen miniatures at a local bookstore when I was a kid. I was too little for them. But after I read Lord of the Rings, I was like, hey, wait a minute, don't they make some cool things like miniatures and stuff? And I always kind of thought it would be kind of cool to have like Romans versus Gauls and big tabletop games like that. Well, they didn't have anything like that at the bookstore, but they did have actually at the same time there was a company called ICE that released Middle Earth
Oh,
figurines,
neato.
right? So now those are hard to get nowadays. You got to look for them on eBay. I've been slowly building my collection back up of those. So they had those and Ralpartha and Legacy at the time, and Ralpartha, which later became Ralpartha Legacy. Long story. And of course there was the Grenadier figures as well. So there were some things going on at the time. Of course, back then they were all lead. Now we have plastics, plastics and white metal. So all the new miniatures that come out that are made out of metal. This is a slightly older figure, but it's actually made out of what's called white metal, and you could probably drop that on somebody and
It caused some damage.
yeah, don't drop it on your toe. But I'm refurbishing this one. I finally found the left claw for him, so he's a Warhammer Dreadnought.
Okay.
So science fiction and fantasy. Um, you know, there's also historicals. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I love those.
They're in a case up right right here are my historicals.
Okay.
And I've got some Star Wars guys further on up. So just about any theme that you are interested in, you can find in a miniature. And
Mm.
it's a way to, if you're not an artist, like if you don't do, um, you know, I've got some canvases back here and like, uh, if you're not into trying to do art on canvases and the like, what I tell people at my paint and takes is that if they're familiar with doing a coloring book,
Mm.
these are just like doing a coloring book because everything's there for you. You just have to find the line and stay within the line.
Yeah, a 3D coloring book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it gives it's time to do art or a hobby for people that aren't necessarily artists.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's a process. So the way I paint in a process manner, which all art is based on processes. It's just knowing when to do things and when not to do things, and basically how the materials work together. But I can get someone, if I had a day with someone
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to teach them, I could get them from a beginner to a nice intermediate level where they'd be really happy with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, with a paint and take, I only have a few minutes. I give a little advice. Here you go, get started. Don't put the paint on too thick. Don't put it on too thin. Um,
Happy medium.
brace, yeah, brace your elbows on the table so that you can stabilize yourself, and away you go. It's not so much a class as an introduction, a self-teaching introduction where you can just say, "Hey, this is I like this. This is fun. I like what I turned out. I want to do more of it."
Yeah. Yeah. I my experience, I just started this year miniature painting. I have friends who do Warhammer. The library started with a Warhammer thing, and we got a miniature and we were able to paint it there at the library. But I'm learning as I go, but it's stressful at times, yes. But it's almost like a therapeutic coloring. Like people do adult coloring books and stuff like that. When you get a little figure, you start from scratch and then you end it and it looks pretty good. Not
Right.
amazing, but it looks
Yeah.
pretty good and you feel a sense of accomplishment. It's
Mhm.
fun to do.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is like I said, if you learn the process, then you can add to it as you learn how the materials work, as the paint works, adding water to it, adding things like I have a favorite company that I use. This is by Cuttlefish Colors. It's called Merlin's Magic Medium,
Okay.
and what it is it's a blend of several different additives. Um, and you can buy all those additives at an art store, and you could probably mix up your own version of that, but they've done it already and I like to use it. Of course, water is always good to have on hand, especially because we use um, acrylic paints, and an acrylic paint is, well, it comes in a bottle like this, or one of my favorite companies. I'm not really shilling because I don't get any kind of thing, but I do like Pro Acryl.
Okay.
So that's by Monument Hobbies, Pro Acryl, and it's a little bit more expensive, but 22 milliliters versus 18 milliliters.
Oh yeah.
The extra dollar is definitely worth it, and the quality is unmistakable.
Okay.
Um, so that's one of my favorites. Right now, Army Painter has a really nice line of paints called the Fanatics, but they also have a speed paint. Um,
Is it speed because it's drying quicker?
no, so
Okay.
what it is speed paints. I don't have anything here on the desk that I actually cleared my desk a little bit more than I wanted to. So speed paint, what it is it's a very thin paint, very much like a glaze. But
Okay.
what it does is it flows from the high places on the model to the low places. So you get a natural gradient from highlight to shading
Okay.
as it dries.
Yeah, I try to do that with the thinning of the paint and I can never
Yeah.
get it right.
What I usually do is I will start out with a dark color, the
Okay.
darkest that I want. So say I'm working in greens. So I'll start out with, I would show you here, but I too much fiddle in here. I would start out with a dark green on the first layer, right?
Okay.
Let's say it's shaped like this. Say a cloak. You know how on a cloak you'll have kind of that real flowing sort of. So let's
Ripples.
say
Yeah.
let's say this is the shape, sort of an obloid shape, right
Okay.
at the top. So I go over the whole thing with my darkest color, say dark green. And then from about the next 3/4 from here over to here, I would paint the next shade up lighter.
Okay.
So like a medium green. And then right here on the very top, I would do like a light green.
Okay.
So you get your eye will naturally at a 3 foot tabletop length, your eye will naturally blend those together and you'll see that gradient. Now you can actually wet blend or you can blend those together, or you can build up your colors. You can actually take that middle tone,
Hmm.
thin it out a little bit, and just kind of let it build that up so that you get that gradient off that darkest layer.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different ways to do things, a lot
Hmm.
of different methods to approach, and everybody's got their own way. Everybody finds out what works best for them.
Hmm.
Um, for instance, last month I did my first OSL, object source lighting. What it does is I just work out where the brightest tone is going to be and where the darkest tone is going to be, and I get some shading and
Yeah,
the
I see
light,
it
and
back
then
there on the cubes in the back.
yeah, yeah, and then you see how that just kind of works. And I just work the sort of the same principle. I worked from the darkest to the lightest.
Yeah.
Come on, focus, focus, you horrible thing, focus.
There
There
we
you go.
go. Yeah. There
Again, barely.
it comes and goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I did is I just took a little bit of bread bag tie and I
Oh,
stripped the plastic off of it,
yeah.
and I used that for now it's delicate. This I don't really intend on using. Well, actually, I do intend on using it in a game, but it bends. So if it
Hmm.
bends and the like, I can always bend it back. But
Oh, yeah.
um, I did that. I really don't do what's called object source lighting, where you have that lighting effect
Hmm.
from brightest to darkest. I don't do that very often, but I thought I'd try it. I did that actually. A friend of mine who passed away shortly before I got that model, he sent that to me.
Oh, wow.
So I had to do a little something special,
Yeah.
especially since I entered it into the Monument Hobbies art as or miniatures as art display at Adepticon last week. So
How'd you do?
oh, obviously there are people who are so much better than me, like light years beyond what I can do. Um, so I didn't place or anything,
Yeah.
and that particular competition this year was not about placement. It was about being in the show,
Oh, yeah.
and kind of giving it that step forward.
Hmm.
Because Adepticon has not had an open competition for a long time.
Oh, okay.
All of the competitions they've had for the last few years have been tied to manufacturers.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
so it was their models
Yeah.
that you had to paint and enter. Jason at Monument Hobbies decided to do this, and it's anybody's model can be in there. Uh, Anybody can enter.
Yeah.
They next year they're going to have some rubrics by which to judge
Hmm.
the pieces, but it's also a good way to get constructive feedback as to where you can maybe not what you have to do, but where you can take your skill.
Hmm.
Basically, you've got these skills. I see what you're trying to do. You're doing a good job. Why don't you just push it just this little further?
Tweaks. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a much less competitive competition than the other ones.
Okay.
So it's I really enjoyed it. The one thing that I guess they took pictures of all the entrants, and the one lady said to me, she said, "We really enjoyed photographing that one." So to
Oh,
me,
that's a
that
compliment.
was that was as good as a prize.
Yeah, absolutely.
If now the figures that we use at the paint and takes are made out of PVC, and these are Reaper figures. Um, like this is one of the older style Reaper figures. You can't do this with a Warhammer figure,
It's like Gumby.
right? But it's PVC. It's very much similar to the PVC that the old Micro Machines spaceships were made out of.
Mm-hmm.
So it holds pretty good detail, but it's inexpensive. That's why they let
Neat.
me use them for paint and takes.
Yeah.
And but you don't want to use spray paint on that.
Okay.
You can actually just take say take a little bit of what I like to do usually is I like to take a little bit of just average, regular old acrylic paint,
Yeah.
just and do a thin coat all over the figure just to give it a base coat to give the rest of my paint something to stick to.
Okay. Okay.
But this particular plastic is really friendly to this particular type of paint, which is what we use at the paint and take.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Speaking of the paint intake, what let people know when you're doing it, what's going to happen, and what they can expect.
okay, so the paint and take at Final Boss Con, and I do this at several other local conventions. I'll be the weekend after, no, sorry, the weekend before Final Boss Con. I'll be at Rathacon
Okay.
doing it. I did it at GoboCon in Ashland, and I also did it at HerdCon at Marshall.
Nice.
So I do these. It's kind of a, it's kind of a. I hate to use the word community service,
But it is.
but
You're getting the info out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm showing the hobby to people that might not have ever been exposed to it before,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully they will, say this is really cool and want to stick with it.
Mm.
But anyway, so the way it runs is I set up a table, I have a selection of figures, I put out the paints, I put out the water, I put out a little palette you can use to you mix your paints, put your paints on. You just kind of come, say, "Hey, I'd like to do it." And you just find an open seat, sit down, and pick a figure, sit down, and start painting.
And it's the whole. Is it both days? You can come up to your table and do it at any
It's gonna
time.
it's gonna be both days, and as long as there's an open seat, you're more than welcome to join in.
Nice. I
So
love that.
yeah,
So they can sit there as long as they want and paint a thing and then take it home with them, literally.
yep, yep. The first figure's free.
That's neat. That's super neat. I mean, but that's what the library did, and now look, I've got a whole rattling team,
Yeah,
and I am starting some Star Wars ones because I got to do Star Wars. But now you mentioned Lord of the Rings, I might get some Lord of the Rings ones. It's
there
it's a
you go.
great it's a great hobby to do, especially you do have a lot of stuff you have, but it's compact. So I
Sure.
mean, for you, it takes up a lot of space back there. But for me, I have it in just a box that I carry with me when I go, and I can paint with my friends at their house,
Hmm.
and we just have a good time painting and having fun.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Well, that's what it's about. It's about painting and having fun.
yeah,
Um, it's a hobby, and it's just it's something to take up your time. It's something to engage your creative side.
hmm
And like you mentioned, there's just about every genre represented.
hmm
So you can, if you like whatever you like, pop
yeah.
culture. I mean, there's miniatures of Marvel superheroes. There's miniatures of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, a generic fantasy, um, generic science fiction. There's steampunk and ancients and sword and sandals and
Yeah.
you know any genre that's out there, somebody has made miniatures for it.
And I'm sure there's nonfiction things like presidents or,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
historical figures and stuff like that. You just
Oh
have
yeah.
to go find it.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
all out there.
Here, I'll
Yep.
show off. Hold on. So, one of the main reasons why I was interested when the library said there was miniature painting is because I love Sam Witwer, who
Ah,
voices Maul,
yep.
and he paints as well. I think yeah, here I
So
have
does
him.
Henry Cavill.
Oh yes, he does. He does.
Yep.
What was his team that he said he had? I
I
forget.
think he said last on the one interview that he was on, he was talking about running Custodes.
Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, I chose Ratlings because I felt that they were very Irish, and I'm
Hmm.
Irish, so I picked them, and they are like hobbits.
Yep.
They're mischievous and conniving, and they steal things, and I like them. But I've just primed these. Now, there's Maul, but I do it wrong by dry brushing it after the primer? Okay.
So what you're doing here is you're giving yourself what might be considered sort of like a zenithal.
Okay.
So what you've done is you primed it in black, right?
Correct.
and then you dry brush white, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now what you can do is, you remember how I was talking about speed paints?
Yeah.
So now if you take speed paints, or another thing you could do is you could take some glazing medium, which is one of those art sort of um, additives, kind of like Merlin's Magic Medium here that I have.
Yeah.
Um, that you can actually take, and you can work your paint down into a glaze. You can either do it with water. It's a little harder with water. Works better with some of those additives,
Okay.
like the glazing, what's called glazing medium. And it will help. What it does is it thins down your paint, but it doesn't break your paint. Paint is made out of three
Okay.
components. Paint is made out of three components. Of course, there's the pigment, the color we see. There's the resin. The acrylic is a resin suspended in water, and water is the solvent.
Okay.
Okay, so you have those three main components.
Yeah.
So what you've got there is you've got sort of like almost like a zenithal, but
Okay.
you're kind of doing what's called the art term for it is grisaille, and what that means is you're basically sketching in your highlights and your shadows.
Yeah.
Um, the the uh, the word du jour is slap chop. So if you look on
Yeah.
YouTube, you'll see what's called slap chop,
Yeah.
and that's where they take a figure that you've done exactly what you did with your preparation, and then they will use the speed paints to do the colors, and those gradations
Mm-hmm.
from the speed paint will be more evident with that particular sort of way of going.
So I did this on the ratlings, but I don't think it came out as much. I was too afraid for the dry brush, the slap chopping. And I I feel like I didn't see it enough, maybe because my paint was too thick. Could that be
Mhm.
possible?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's possibly. Now the other thing is you can use those values that you've done in that preparation stage
Uh-huh.
to inform the rest of your. If you're using opaque paints,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually inform your opaque painting with those highlights and shadows from that sort of style prep that you did there,
Yeah.
that grisaille or slap chop style preparation.
I'm using
Um,
grisaille because it's fancier.
yeah. That's the terms you do art, So because it's the same thing. People call it slap chop now, but back in the 70s and 80s, there was a gentleman by the name of Duke Seaford who did what he called stain painting, which was the same thing.
Okay.
So he would do that undercoat, light undercoat dry brush, and then use his paints as stains. It was the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So but he called it stain painting, and he taught that class at a lot of the conventions for years.
That works. I'm happy with that. Well, JP, thank you so much. I've learned so much, and you've also helped me become a little more confident in what I'm doing. But and I might come and paint a figure while I'm there at Final
Oh,
Boss.
please
Yeah.
do, please do.
Yeah. So they can come any time, both days.
Yep,
Alrighty.
anytime, both days, as long as I'm open.
And what other cons will you be at? I think you mentioned to him. I just want a reminder.
So I'll be at Rathacon the week before Final Boss on the 18th. Um, then in the fall, I will be at Huracan WV.
Mm.
That's September 2nd. It's the weekend after Labor Day,
Okay.
so I'll be there. And then I think usually I go to Shawnee State Game Conference at the beginning of November, end of October.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they've got one. So that's it. And then usually at the beginning of the year in March is GobbleCon in Ashland, run by Goblin Goblin Traders over in Ironton. And then there's HerdCon, run by the HerdCon people at
Marshall.
Marshall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's quite a few out of the year. And then I work with Sea Dog Game Studios at Adepticon
Mhm.
and Origins, and we run our little sailing ship game, And we also have this year we released third edition of our big stompy robots game called Tech Commander. If you like BattleTech
Okay.
but want a faster game, Tech Commander is the game for you.
It's like a BattleTech Killzone
Um,
or Kill Team.
very
Kill Team.
yeah. BattleTech Alpha Strike. Alpha Strike, I think, is the one that you might be thinking of.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, that's a fast playing game.
Mhm.
Ours is a fast playing game. We actually developed ours years before BattleTech developed theirs. So,
Oh, okay.
there are some distinct play style similarities between the two games.
Fun. And then I also think, are you on YouTube or Twitch?
I'm on Twitch.
Okay.
I'm on YouTube and Rumble. So I generally do a stream on Thursdays and every other Saturday afternoon.
Oh, fun.
So
Okay.
Thursdays beginning at 7 and every other Saturday at 4 p.m.
Fun.
So probably next Saturday I'll be on.
I've watched a few of yours in the past. Yeah, it's very your camera angle's great. You can see everything you're doing. Yeah.
So I'm working on trying to make the stream better. So if you subscribe on the YouTube, that's great. If you follow on the Twitch, that's terrific. Glad to have you. And I'm working on doing more produced videos too. So
Nice.
I did a retrospect for last year's Adepticon. That's on there. I've got some interviews coming up that I'm going to be interviews and reviews.
Yeah.
And maybe some like sort of 10-minute Uncle Adam style talks.
Nice.
So
Fun. Well, I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing those videos and stuff. Yeah.
So those are the plans.
Good. All right. Well, JP, I look forward to seeing you at Final Boss Con.
Right on. Nice. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.